What if everything we thought we knew about the universe's beginning was wrong? Imagine a reality where the Big Bang never actually happened. A revolutionary new theory is shaking the very foundation of cosmology, suggesting that the universe didn't begin, it simply always existed in a self-perpetuating loop. No singular explosion. No starting point. Just an eternal universe creating itself. Sounds crazy? Maybe not. Some of the world's most brilliant physicists are seriously considering this mind-bending possibility. In today's video, we dive deep into this radical idea and explore how it could rewrite the history and future of everything we know. For over a century, the Big Bang has been the leading explanation for the origin of the universe. It states that everything, space, time, matter, exploded into existence from an infinitely dense point around 13.8 billion years ago. But here's the catch: the Big Bang theory doesn't actually explain what banged, why it banged, or what came before it. In fact, it breaks down at the very moment of the singularity. As we rewind time back toward that moment, physics as we know it stops working. Einstein's general relativity crumbles under quantum pressure. This paradox has haunted cosmologists for decades. If the laws of physics collapse at the supposed beginning, how can we trust our model of the universe's origin? That's where the new theory enters the picture, one that challenges the very idea of a beginning at all. Instead of a universe born from a singular explosion, some physicists now propose a cosmos with no beginning, one that has always existed in a dynamic equilibrium. This theory, sometimes called conformal cyclic cosmology or emergent cosmology, posits that the universe regenerates itself endlessly in cycles. Imagine a cosmic phoenix, constantly dying and being reborn, without ever really starting. The fabric of spacetime doesn't emerge from a bang, but transforms continuously through quantum processes. This model eliminates the need for a singularity and instead suggests that the universe creates itself through natural laws that never require a beginning. What's more, it aligns better with quantum mechanics than the traditional Big Bang model, bridging a gap that has long divided physics. This isn't just poetic philosophy, it's a real, mathematical possibility gaining traction in scientific circles. Quantum gravity has long aimed to unite general relativity with quantum mechanics, and in doing so, it offers new perspectives on the universe's earliest moments, or lack thereof. Theories like loop quantum gravity suggest that spacetime is not continuous but made up of tiny loops of energy, which could mean the universe bounces instead of beginning. In this model, a previous universe contracts before expanding into the one we live in now. That bounce eliminates the singularity and creates a smooth, cyclic timeline. Observations from the cosmic microwave background radiation, the echo of the early universe, also contain anomalies that might hint at patterns from a previous cycle. These strange circular imprints could be the fingerprints of a universe that existed before our own, providing tangible data that supports the idea of a self-creating cosmos. Scientists are now reanalyzing this data through the lens of these alternative models. If the universe has no beginning, our understanding of time is turned on its head. Time may not be a linear path from a singular start, but a circle, a continuous loop with no defined origin. This reshapes everything from our view of causality to the ultimate fate of the cosmos. Space itself may not be infinite but cyclical, with every ending transitioning naturally into a new beginning. Philosophically, this theory touches on deep questions. Is creation even meaningful if there's no creator? Are we part of an eternal recurrence with no final destination? And scientifically, this approach could unify contradictions between quantum mechanics and relativity, finally bridging the two great pillars of physics. It may also redefine the way we search for dark energy, dark matter, and other cosmic mysteries. Why is this theory gaining attention now? Because new instruments like the James Webb Space Telescope and powerful particle accelerators are giving us deeper insights into the fabric of reality. These tools allow physicists to test models like conformal cyclic cosmology and loop quantum gravity more rigorously than ever before. If evidence continues to mount, the scientific community may be forced to reevaluate one of the most foundational ideas in cosmology, that the universe had a beginning. And this isn't just academic. It affects how we understand life, death, consciousness, even the concept of existence itself. A universe with no beginning and no end challenges every assumption we've ever had. But in doing so, it might bring us closer to the truth than ever before. Despite its elegance, the theory of a self-creating or eternal universe is not without its critics. One major challenge is the lack of direct observational evidence. While anomalies in the cosmic microwave background, CMB, may suggest hints of past cycles, the data is far from conclusive. Detractors argue that these irregularities could just as easily be attributed to measurement errors or noise. Additionally, the mathematics behind models like conformal cyclic cosmology or loop quantum gravity is extremely complex and often speculative. Many scientists still prefer the simplicity and predictive power of the Big Bang theory, which has decades of empirical support. Some also question whether infinite cycles violate the second law of thermodynamics. How can entropy reset with each cycle? The answers to these questions remain elusive. However, this tension is exactly what drives scientific progress. Paradigm shifts always begin with friction, and as theories evolve, so does our capacity to test them. One of the most fascinating extensions of this theory touches on the nature of consciousness. If the universe is eternal and cyclic, could consciousness also be part of that cycle? Some physicists and philosophers suggest that our minds, our awareness, may not be one-time phenomena but part of a repeating cosmic rhythm. While this is deeply speculative, it echoes ancient spiritual and philosophical traditions that spoke of rebirth, cosmic cycles, and eternal recurrence. Could there be a scientific basis for these age-old ideas? It's too early to say. However, if time is cyclic and information is never truly lost, it opens up wild possibilities, such as recurring patterns of evolution, civilizations, or even individual identities. While this veers more into metaphysics than hard science, it reflects the profound impact such theories could have on how we perceive ourselves and our place in the universe. Beyond conformal cyclic cosmology and loop quantum gravity, there are other models attempting to bypass the Big Bang. One is the ekpyrotic universe model, which suggests that our universe emerged from the collision of higher-dimensional branes in a multidimensional space. Another is emergent gravity, a theory where gravity is not a fundamental force but an emergent phenomenon from microscopic processes. These models also aim to remove the need for a singular beginning and suggest a more fluid, evolving universe. Each model has its strengths and weaknesses, and none are yet universally accepted. What's fascinating is that they all attempt to answer the same troubling question: if everything had to start somewhere, then what came before somewhere? We're on the edge of a new frontier in cosmology. With future telescopes, such as the Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope, and quantum computers that can handle calculations previously impossible, we're entering a golden age of discovery. These tools may provide the missing data or computational support needed to verify or debunk eternal universe theories. Additionally, international collaborations like CERN and projects like the Square Kilometre Array, SKA, will dig deeper into the structure of spacetime and cosmic radiation. In the next decade, we may see definitive evidence that changes our entire cosmological narrative. If the universe did not begin with a bang, but has always existed, science will have to rewrite the textbooks, and humanity will have to rethink its cosmic story. Ultimately, whether the universe began with a bang or has always been, these discussions push us toward a deeper understanding of reality. They challenge not only the laws of physics but also the human imagination. A universe without a beginning invites us to see existence not as a line with a start and end, but as a tapestry, woven endlessly through time and space. It makes us question our definitions of creation, meaning, and destiny. Maybe we're not living in the aftermath of a cosmic explosion, but in one phase of an eternal process. And maybe, just maybe, the universe isn't something that happened to us, but something we are fundamentally a part of, forever unfolding. As we venture deeper into the concept of a self-creating universe, the boundary between science and philosophy begins to blur. While scientific models depend on mathematics, observation, and experimentation, they often brush up against questions that are inherently philosophical. Why is there something rather than nothing? If the universe has no beginning, does that mean existence is the default state of reality? Philosophers have long debated whether the universe needs a cause or explanation at all. In this light, the eternal universe theory doesn't just challenge the Big Bang, it challenges the very notion of causality. Modern physicists like Roger Penrose have acknowledged this convergence, admitting that to truly understand the cosmos, we may need to embrace both scientific and philosophical tools. In doing so, we expand not just our knowledge, but our awareness of what it means to be part of this grand, mysterious existence. Let's take a moment to imagine the implications if this theory is confirmed, if we find undeniable evidence that the universe has no origin. First, it would rewrite our understanding of cosmic evolution. The idea that we're one chapter in an eternal story alters humanity's place in the cosmos. Religions, many of which are built upon the concept of a beginning, might reevaluate their teachings. Our cultural and existential narratives would shift, possibly for the better. We might come to view life not as a rare cosmic accident, but as a recurring and integral part of a self-renewing universe. It could also inspire a more profound respect for the universe, seeing it as an eternal, living entity rather than a one-time explosion. The psychological effect could be just as powerful as the scientific one, reminding us that perhaps the story of reality is much bigger, older, and more beautiful than we ever imagined. Despite the excitement around this theory, there are still vast gaps in our understanding. For instance, we don't yet know how or why the supposed cycles in a self-creating universe begin anew. If entropy increases with each cycle, wouldn't the universe eventually become too chaotic to reset? And what governs these transitions from one aeon to the next, as Penrose puts it? Furthermore, the nature of time itself is still a mystery. Is time an illusion, an emergent property, or a fundamental aspect of reality? These unanswered questions are reminders that we're only at the beginning of a very long journey. The universe may be eternal, but our knowledge of it is still in its infancy. Each new discovery brings more questions than answers, but that's what makes science thrilling. It's not just about finding truths, but chasing them through the infinite corridors of possibility. In contemplating a universe that creates itself, one profound realization stands out: through human beings, and perhaps other forms of life, the universe has become aware of itself. We are not separate observers, but expressions of the cosmos, trying to understand our origins and our nature. Carl Sagan once said, "We are a way for the cosmos to know itself." If the universe is truly eternal, then consciousness, curiosity, and wonder may be woven into its very fabric. Perhaps this cycle of creation includes not just matter and energy, but also insight, emotion, and meaning. In a strange and beautiful way, the universe is telling itself a story, and through our eyes, ears, and thoughts, it is listening. One of the key observational tools in cosmology is the cosmic microwave background, CMB, a faint afterglow from the early universe. In the Big Bang model, this is considered the oldest light we can detect, offering a snapshot of the universe about 380,000 years after its supposed birth. But in a cyclic or eternal universe, the CMB might contain more than just one story. Researchers like Roger Penrose have identified unusual low-variance circles in the CMB, patterns that could be the remnants of previous eons or cosmic cycles. If confirmed, this would be a direct clue that our universe is not the first, nor the last. Although controversial and debated, this interpretation redefines the CMB from a birth certificate to a cosmic diary, with records stretching across multiple incarnations of the universe. The scientific community remains divided, but more precise instruments in the future may finally settle the debate. An eternal universe naturally sparks wild thought experiments, such as time travel or eternal recurrence. If the universe repeats itself, could history, or even personal identity, recur exactly as before? Some interpretations suggest that in an infinite cosmos, given enough time, every possible configuration of particles will happen again, potentially resulting in another Earth, another you, having this exact same conversation. It sounds like science fiction, but it's actually derived from real thermodynamic and quantum theories. Time travel, too, becomes a different beast in an eternal model. If time is cyclic or non-linear, perhaps we're not bound by a one-way arrow but rather flowing within a loop, one that could be bent or traversed under the right conditions. While this remains theoretical, such discussions open up philosophical questions about fate, choice, and destiny. In a self-creating universe, the past, present, and future might not be as separate as we think. Another layer to this cosmic puzzle is the multiverse theory, the idea that our universe is just one of many. In some models, such as eternal inflation, universes continuously bud off like bubbles in a never-ending foam. Could the theory of a self-creating universe be one aspect of a greater multiverse structure? Perhaps each cycle in a cyclic universe gives birth to a different cosmos, with unique laws of physics and constants. This would mean our universe is both eternal and not alone. If true, the implications are staggering. Not only would reality be unbounded in time, it would also be infinite in diversity. It challenges the anthropic principle, suggesting we live in a universe suited for life not by luck, but because all possible universes exist. Understanding where our universe fits within this larger picture could be the next frontier of cosmology. Interestingly, the idea of an eternal, self-renewing universe isn't new. Ancient cultures from Hinduism to Buddhism, from the Stoics to indigenous traditions, spoke of cosmic cycles, birth, death, and rebirth on a grand scale. The idea that the universe has no beginning or end, but flows eternally, has deep spiritual resonance. Today, science is beginning to echo these ancient intuitions. While scientific truth must rest on evidence and mathematics, the emotional and symbolic power of an eternal cosmos is undeniable. It suggests we are not fleeting accidents, but integral parts of an infinite, living system. This can inspire a deeper sense of connection, purpose, and awe. It's a rare and beautiful moment when science and spirituality find common ground, and the self-creating universe may be one of those sacred intersections. As revolutionary as the self-creating universe theory may seem, it must withstand the harsh scrutiny of the scientific method. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Peer-reviewed journals, reproducible experiments, and falsifiable predictions are essential. Currently, most models that challenge the Big Bang, like conformal cyclic cosmology or the bouncing cosmology, still lack widespread consensus due to incomplete data or controversial interpretations. Critics argue that many of these theories rely on mathematical abstractions that are not yet supported by observable phenomena. Moreover, the Big Bang still accurately predicts things like the abundance of light elements and the expanding nature of space. While it's crucial to explore new frontiers in thought, it's equally important not to abandon rigor. The challenge for cosmologists is to develop theories that are both imaginative and testable. In this way, science remains grounded, even as it reaches for the stars. It's important to remember that every major breakthrough in science began with imagination. Einstein imagined riding alongside a beam of light before formulating relativity. Georges Lemaitre envisioned the Big Bang as a primeval atom before it gained scientific traction. Today, the notion of a self-creating or eternal universe is still in its theoretical phase, but it is fueled by the same bold curiosity. Our capacity to visualize the invisible, to stretch thought beyond current understanding, is one of humanity's greatest strengths. When we dare to imagine an eternal cosmos, we expand the limits of what science can ask, and eventually, what it can answer. Whether or not this specific theory becomes the new standard, it plays a vital role in pushing us forward. It forces us to challenge old paradigms and re-examine what we thought we knew about the very fabric of existence. As new ideas flood the field of cosmology, there's a growing need to introduce these concepts to the next generation of thinkers. Modern education systems are just beginning to incorporate quantum mechanics, multiverse theories, and alternative cosmologies into their curricula. Empowering young minds with the freedom to question and explore these revolutionary ideas will shape the scientists, philosophers, and innovators of tomorrow. Imagine a world where a child learning about the universe is not confined to one narrative but exposed to a spectrum of possibilities, where the Big Bang is just one of many stories about how reality could work. This intellectual diversity cultivates not only knowledge but resilience, the ability to adapt and innovate. As we move into an era of exponential technological and scientific growth, fostering curiosity about the origin and nature of the universe becomes more than a philosophical endeavor, it becomes a practical one. To every dreamer, thinker, and explorer watching this, never underestimate the power of your questions. Whether you're a scientist working at a telescope or a student gazing at the stars from your backyard, your wonder is the fuel that drives discovery. The theory that the universe creates itself may or may not become fact. But your willingness to question the mainstream, to look deeper, and to embrace complexity, that is what propels science forward. Curiosity is not just a trait, it's a responsibility. In a cosmos that might be infinite, we are the explorers. And it's up to us to keep asking, keep searching, and keep imagining what lies beyond what we think we know. In the end, this theory brings us to an awe-inspiring thought: the universe may not be a one-time miracle but a living, breathing, eternal process. If it never began, then every moment is equally ancient and equally new. In such a universe, beginnings and endings fade away, and what remains is the eternal now. Whether through cycles of birth and death, or through infinite variations of reality, the cosmos continues to unfold. And within it, so do we. We are not separate from this process, we are this process. The atoms in your body were forged in stars. Your consciousness arises from patterns in matter shaped by the universe itself. To understand the cosmos, then, is to understand yourself. So the next time you look up at the night sky, remember, you're not just looking at the universe, you're looking into it, from the inside.